Harry and Meghan regret their decision to leave the royal family. Has Princess Meghan stolen the hearts of the British people? What was Diana's relationship with her family like before she married Charles? This is the main content of today's newsletter. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. All right, so first off, I would say for sure that Harry probably at this point regrets ever meeting Meghan Markle. She was a nightmare from the very beginning, and Harry apparently didn't see the danger that he was facing. William tried to warn him. He tried to tell Harry to take his time. He tried to warn Harry that Meghan was a bully. And I mean, she even bullied Catherine, who eventually cried because Meghan was so vicious towards her. And I suspect that's when this big fight broke out between William and Harry. But seriously, how dumb can a man be? So now he's stuck in Montecito, California, so far away from anybody who really loved him, his friends, his family, people who really cared about him and took care of him all those years. And according to the rumors, Harry may have gotten himself into another big mess, indulging in a bizarre conspiracy to act like Meghan Markle had a child or two. As crazy as it sounds, I think there is certainly some truth here. Meghan Markle has a very dark past. She's been used and abused by men doing what she did, so I can understand why she would have had a hysterectomy. I mean, she's what, 46 years old now? She has seen and done things that no father would ever wish on their daughter. And what is going on? Why is Harry stuck in this relationship? I swear there's some kind of spell that has been put on him, or maybe blackmail, or perhaps both. But now he has found himself in a world of trouble. I'm sure he's very lonely these days. He doesn't have any real friends in California. There's nowhere that he can really go without people talking about what he's doing. And perhaps he is finally waking up to the mess that he has caused. He's an incredibly weak man. And I mean, a crazy woman plus a weak man is a recipe for a disaster. I'm sure she broke Harry a long time ago, just like she tried to with Catherine. We've seen so many lies, we've seen so much deceit, and then even more lies. And look, I'm sure he's the father of the invisible children. I would be very shocked otherwise. And this woman, who probably can't even have kids, who he listened to and fell into her ways, she lied, she bent the truth, and then she lied some more. And he knows that she can't be the mother. She had a hysterectomy. I mean, the thing is, Megan cannot be trusted with the kids. Somebody needs to take them away if they're real and they need to be raised properly, preferably Harry's family. But can he even escape at this point? I'm guessing when those two get divorced, which is probably going to happen sooner rather than later, the judge is going to request a DNA test to figure out what is going on. I just don't know how much more of this Harry's going to put up with. Now, the kids usually go to the mother in a divorce, unless, of course, there are some good reasons why that shouldn't be the case. And I think in this case, there are more than enough good reasons. So Harry can just explain to the judge that Megan had a hysterectomy, so she couldn't bear children. And she insisted that she was going to pretend to be pregnant. She was going to stuff a pillow or moon bump or whatever up her shirt and then act all secretive. And at just the right time, she was going to bring in the new baby and act like she gave birth to Archie, and she tricked all of them. But Harry can at least say that he did supply a sample of sperm, and so he can be the children's father. As long as they used his samples, that is. I mean, we couldn't make this stuff up if we tried. It is so crazy. For Harry, I mean, back when Meghan entered his life, I'm sure he was looking for somebody. He needed somebody to love him. His girlfriend dumped him, gave the excuse that she didn't want to deal with the media. I mean, I'm not sure that was it. It was probably just being with Harry that was really hard. So Harry found Meghan on a rebound. That's what happened. And now he is stuck in this shameful life. If Diana had not passed away when Harry was so young, maybe she really could have helped him and given him the love that he was hoping to find. But the king made a statement when Harry was born, another prince for a spare. And the truth is, every successful man has a good woman standing by his side. Meghan Markle, though, is not a good woman, so I don't think Harry will ever be able to improve as a man. All right, so next up, Meghan is called princess by some people. I'm not even going to say many. So, who exactly gave her that princess title? Is it legitimate at all? Or is this just another example of Meghan pretending something is what it's not just because she wants it to be that way? Well, there's no court case, either past or scheduled, that's being considered against this person to determine if Meghan Markle really is a princess or not. But let me clear the air. She's not a princess. Within the British system, there isn't anybody who has the right to go by the title Princess Meghan, and that could be a good reason that no such action is in place. So Meghan hasn't completed her profile, but it seems like she certainly hasn't attempted to understand how honorifics work in the nobility and in the royal family. She doesn't care. Funny to me, too, that it is the Sugars, the squatties, who are so obsessed with calling Meghan a princess. I mean, honestly, my country is both fascinated by British royalty, and we also have a minority who prefer to live in a fantasy world and reject what is well known to so many people. And of course, I'm talking about the naming system, about the convention of when a female can become a princess, and also the order of the words when used in a name. Let's remember the US rejected the whole idea of a class of society, which in Britain and other countries is classed as nobility. We rebelled and we accepted commercial gain over all. But it looks like this new generation doesn't understand about how other countries have developed in the over 3 centuries since the insurrection of our ancestors. It is unfortunate that these idiots won't just take a little time to do a Google search. Instead, they prefer to just further this Disney fantasy instead of discover the reality as applicable to the British royalty. Now, in this case, Meghan Markle herself isn't really the guilty one. Instead, it's her sugars who insist on calling her princess. She usually just refers to herself as Duchess, which is, well, another subject altogether that I also have a problem with. In America, it seems that only actors and entertainers can lay claim to titles of royalty. Even an American woman who married a now minor royal from Britain doesn't claim for herself princess. Instead, she uses the title that she got by marrying her husband. She is officially Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. And that's a title that she got just because she married Prince Harry. And it was a wedding present given to him by his late grandmother. There have also been rumors, though, that she's a bit of a klepto. I believe it. Now, apparently, when she actually was an active member of the working royals, she had a habit of stealing stuff that didn't belong to her. These accusations, of course, have not been tested in court, but rumors are rife. But anyway, back to this question about Meghan Markle being Princess Meghan. I mean, instead of using the correct titles, Meghan Markle, who is the Duchess of Sussex, or even possibly Princess Henry, if we're being precise, if you ignore the title that she got by marrying Harry, and if you want to insult her husband's rank by using the equivalent of Mrs. Meghan, then I guess go ahead, whatever. Now, Mountbatten Windsor would also apply to a non noble couple when the wife is married and takes her husband's family name. Obviously, whoever is asking this question is just showing their ignorance and their complete lack of education about the wider world outside of the US. Maybe Meghan Markle did steal the heart of the dim-witted Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, but her hatred of the monarch of 15 Commonwealth realms and the slurs that she made against the people of the UK despise her. Of course they do. The people in the beginning were willing to accept her into their society, but look at what she's done. I mean, it really changed their perception of her. I mean, you can't ignore behavior like that. It could be feasible that a few Americans might have a fantasy that Meghan Markle really is a princess, but many countries who have a much better understanding of royalty, generally speaking, understand that Meghan Markle is not respected in the UK. And that is an opinion reflected in a few other countries too. All right, final topic that we have got to talk about. And I think it also raises a few questions about what exactly Diana's relationship with her family was like before she married Charles. So, was it a good relationship? Unfortunately, her family was incredibly dysfunctional. Allegedly, her father was even physically violent towards his first wife, and when they divorced, he gave her limited access to the kids by claiming to a court that she was mentally unstable. And then he got married again without them knowing, and they didn't get to meet their stepmother until she was presented after the wedding. It really is a sad story. So, Diana was one of 3 girls. She was the youngest, and she was born a little over a year after her older brother died, right after he was born. Her father was so desperate for a male heir, and Diana was a girl, so she was incredibly disappointing to him just because she was a girl. Once her younger brother Charles was born, she became mostly irrelevant to him except as a means to enhance his own status. He had very close connections with the royal family, and he wanted at least one of his daughters to marry one of the three princes. Now, his older daughter, Sarah, had a short relationship with Prince Charles, which ended up being a big nothing burger. So, when his mother in law, the lady in waiting and friend of the late Queen Mother, suggested that Diana was a candidate, then he excitedly agreed. Of course, Diana had no say whatsoever in the matter. Diana was emotionally quite disturbed. I mean, she had experienced some severe trauma. She had abandonment issues. She was very immature. She needed a lot of attention, and she was always looking for affection and approval from other people. She was incredibly jealous of anybody who got close to Charles, and she forced him to give up some old friends and even his favorite dog. Can you imagine? Well, he didn't know how to deal with somebody like her. And because he was emotionally not so healthy himself, pretty repressed actually, her histrionic behavior and her eating disorder left him confused. He didn't know what to do. She was convinced that he was having an affair with a children's nanny, and so she started the first of many affairs herself with her royal protection officer. Unfortunately, she ended up destroying three other marriages because of affairs with married men. And then she even harassed the wife of another man because he went back to his wife after he'd finished the affair with Diana. She didn't have any control over relationships as a child. And so, since all of a sudden she was in a position of power, she became incredibly manipulative. Diana's messed up childhood certainly shaped her, and unfortunately, her paranoia and her constant, desperate need for affection and approval led to some really bad decision making, including the affair with Dodi Fayed to make another lover jealous, and also her refusal of a royal driver. And that ultimately, as you know, led to her death. Her brother was way too quick to blame the royal family, though, and especially Prince Charles for the breakup of the marriage and everything that happened after. But the truth, unfortunately, was a lot closer to home. Well, friends, thank you for watching this video until the very end. This is the main content of today's news. How do you feel about this content? And do you agree with the point of view that we just analyzed? Please leave a comment below, and don't forget to support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. See you again soon in other videos on my YouTube channel.